I'm B.
And I'm Amanda. So this week is going to be a little different. So B is going on vacation next week. So today we're taping ahead of her vacation. And you know, we always want to give you the freshest tea. So we're going to do a different kind of episode. We still have some fresh tea. Don't worry. Stay tuned. But instead of talking about housewife shows that would be stale by the time you hear it, we thought it would be the perfect opportunity to go into the unpublished draft folder on bravoandcocktails.com. We get so many emails and we don't always post them for whatever reason. There are so many posts that end up not getting posted. And then sometimes we even forget all about them. So we thought we would do that. We would look at some of our most commented posts because you guys, you cocktailers are hilarious and we love it. And yeah, so
and the other thing we're going to do, because Amanda, this was requested by so many people on Instagram. So when I have time and I'm like, around the house bored, I throw an ask me anything and then I answer. And a bunch of you, thank you guys, because you always give us good ideas, said, why don't you do a podcast episode where you take the questions that people send you and you and Amanda answer them. So I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yes,
I'm going to put myself on the spot too, because I did not vet these questions. I'm literally going to go into my app and read them as they come in. We're not going to do all of them because we get a lot, but you know what I mean.
And you guys brought the fire. Thank you, because you got some really good questions and I think we're going to have some debates. So I think it'll be good.
Yes. So about that draft folder, when we were talking about this episode, I was like, I don't want to do something that's going to be stale. And Amanda was like, remember I told you have to take a look in that draft folder? And it's kind of like when you have to clean out your closet and then all of a sudden you find a sweater and you're like, what? Why have I not been wearing this? So basically this is what happened. So the reason I want to talk about this is because so I made a post and I was on vacation in Florida. I got a message. I posted it. I went to bed. It caught wildfire. I woke up. I ultimately put it in the draft folder because what I was sent was not true. The reason I'm bringing it up is because a few cast members went to their own podcast about my post, without credit, of course, to discuss. Now, reality stars like to say the blogs are thirsty, Amanda. But you know what's really, and I won't even say thirsty, I'll say tacky. When a reality star uses her quote unquote friend's divorce for content for their pod. I mean, this is your friend. I'm not on this pod or my Instagram talking about my real friends. So months ago, I posted that Tom Schwartz may have been spotted kissing Raquel. It was not true. She was at Coachella. It was some other dude. I was made aware that it wasn't him and I archived the post. However, a couple months later, and I don't even need to say Shishu's name, had Raquel on the pod and they talked about the post. And Raquel was being like old demure, but like hinting that she would hook up with him, and Sheena was like encouraging it. So I thought it was very icky.
I mean, again, thirsty, and I agree, totally tacky. And I think if it'll make good TV, Raquel will do it. So it doesn't shock me one bit that went down. That's not a podcast that I listen to, and I don't think you do. I think the cocktailers told us about that.
No, that was sent to me. I don't listen to that pod. Does anybody?
That's not one that I would spend time on.
Also,
personally.
like Sheena girl, this is the content you put out there. She also had Brittany on talking smack about stuff. Like it. I'm sorry. You have to come up with something better. Raquel, she used one guy to secure a spot on the show.
Yeah.
So why not another? To me, I really like Katie, even more so now, because like that's gross. That's something you expect a blog to post. You don't expect your real life friends to go on a podcast and make that the story. That's their content.
Well, are they real life friends? I don't know. But Katie, I gotta, when you bring her up, I'm like, I love that she has been living her best life. Totally off topic, but she is in her, like, she's like flirty, and having fun. I think she's really gotten a little sparkle back as I've been following her on Instagram. So it's been nice to kind of see her come out of this whole situation. And she, at least as far as we can see on social media, seems happy. And like
Yes.
things are going well. Okay, so I know there's another one.
So I was
that
so
didn't
annoyed.
post. Yeah.
I was so annoyed because when you told me to go look in the draft, I did. And something that was in the draft, I never posted. I actually didn't post because I wanted more info. And when it came in, I didn't put it together. Sorry, guys. But totally forgot that Tinsley is dating someone. And I was reminded of this because a follower who's in the know with them said that, we heard different reasons as to why Tinsley did not go on the trip with Leah, that we're going to see the Thailand ultimate trip. And the reason was that initially she said yes, and, she loves Leah and they make great TV together. But he's a private person. I don't think it was communicated to me that he didn't ask her not to. But I think ultimately she wasn't willing to discuss the relationship. I hear he's a very nice guy. I think, did I say he's a widower? He's a widower. He's a private person, though. He's not somebody we would know. And we don't live in a day and age anymore where she could go on and do a storyline that she's just dating around or she's single, because the Bravo detectives are going to find out. So I think ultimately that was the reason that she decided, you know what? I don't want to put this part of my life out there. I'm not in a space where that's an option. And so that's why she backed out.
And, maybe she is kind of choosing love over choosing TV,
Right.
and I think that's had to be a choice for her kind of back and forth and through the years. And, I hope she finds her happiness, because I think she absolutely deserves to find a good man.
And I think that what that really highlights for me, and another person who comes to mind, Bethany, is that when you have financial security, being on a reality show becomes a decision, and you can decide to or not to. And we know that they don't need it for the check, which, like, I
Right.
always wonder, like, somebody like Kyle has real money, Mauricio's businesses are very successful. She has money in her own right. So you almost wonder why they still do it.
Well, I mean, I think Kyle saw the opportunity, right? And she had been trying to get on TV. And I mean, she sure made she and Mauricio sure made like hay out of that opportunity.
Yes, but now that's been made. So yes, I mean, it catapulted his business. When it started, he was still working for his brother-in-law, and then he started
Right.
the agency, and we know the success that that's had, and kudos to them for making that a success. But like,
Yeah.
now do you still need to do it?
Well, I think, you get on there and then you get addicted to the spotlight and get addicted to, she's gotten over the last years mostly just love, right? And she's the kind of ultimate queen of the show and wants the crown. And so I don't know. I think after this season, it'll be very interesting to see what she does.
And that's a question that a lot of people, not to jump ahead, but a lot of people sent in. And yeah, let's see how she does when she's got to face the heat. Because it's always been, there's been issues with her family, but it's always, now she's really being targeted as the bad guy. So can she withstand that? Will that be her exit?
Right.
I'm undecided.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either, because I think, there could be, with real estate, with interest rates going up, she might be like, Mauricio might be like, you need to stay on the show for another season. We're not selling as many houses as usual. So
Right.
We don't know. But okay, so there's another post where it just went down in the comments.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to read it?
I'll read it. I'll try to breeze through it, guys. The title of the post is Snake on a Plane. From Edwin's baby mama. Subject, the bear of a woman. The bear of a woman, yeah, okay. Was on the flight back from Cozumel yesterday. Same flight as former Beverly Hills housewife. And then this person went on to list what she allegedly witnessed. First, she yelled out while in line for boarding, "Oh my God, is this the same line for first class?" The airline attendant responded, yes. Her and her husband sat first class while the 4 kids and the nanny sat in coach. They exited the plane before the kids and the nanny. They didn't wait for them. When everyone was in line at customs, the parents stayed up front while the nanny and the brood waited back in line. At one point, she went to get the youngest of the four and then went all the way in the back of the line to where the nanny and the kids were, left her youngest back in the stroller with the nanny. Oh, and then she went back to her place way in front with her husband. The person says, these are facts. Okay. You know what's funny? They actually, Tamara and Teddy spoke about this post on their podcast a while back.
Yeah, they did. They did.
And like
Teddy,
she denied it,
Teddy,
right?
She did. That's the thing is she's like, this isn't true. Like she
she said some of it was true, I think.
Yeah.
So listen, I have to say, and I'm certainly not a Teddy stan. In this instance, number one, I'm sure some of it was embellished, right? It's like when you don't like somebody, anything they do irritates you. And I think that was the case with this person who saw her. In and of itself, wealthy people traveling, if they have a nanny, I don't have a nanny, but if I did, now I think what she clarified was that the baby was with her. And the other three, the three being, you know, her stepdaughter and then her two kids who are school-aged kids, sat with the nanny, which if you have a nanny that you hire, I don't see in and of itself the big deal with that. I think it's actually more economical. Like, why do kids need to sit in first class?
Right.
So that's my opinion on that. I think as a general rule, traveling brings out the worst in all of us. I am my worst self in an airport. Second only to driving. So, you know, I don't want to give myself any bad juju as I'm going to be boarding a plane tomorrow, but I don't think it's the most terrible thing. I don't know.
I don't either. And I think, by the way, it is so funny. She just sounded so annoyed by this on the pod. I listened because I was curious to hear what she had to say. Okay, so and you'll roll your eyes at me. I would not by any means call myself a Teddy stan, but I just don't really see why people don't like her or have so much dislike for her, I guess. Like I don't find her boring and enjoy her in general. But I will tell you, like in defense of Teddy, the last time I went to Mexico, I had almost not like no nanny, no kids, but almost the same situation where you had to take this like shuttle through the gate and then everyone gets on the same shuttle and then boards the plane. And so it was actually totally chaotic. And we had priority boarding. We weren't in first class. We were flying Southwest, but we were
dare
in
you?
A's. And I was like, wait a second, why do I even have an A when everybody gets on the same shuttle and then it's a free-for-all to get on the plane because the shuttle takes you out to the tarmac. So
right.
I would be super freaking annoyed if I were paying for first class and then that happens. So I could see why she would be annoyed. Also, in the past, I have traveled. We have had a nanny come on a trip and I have traveled and no, we did not sit in first. But I mean, would you pay to put your nanny and your kids in first and you sit in coach? Like, I don't think so. However, I think...
Hey, they did it on Home Alone, remember? That's how they forgot Kevin.
Yeah. I don't know.
And there was no nanny. Maybe if there was, Kevin would have been with them.
Well, right. And then there wouldn't have been a movie. I just think that maybe it was a bad choice on an optics standpoint from Teddy.
Right.
Because she is a recognizable person. Like, don't come and get mad when people see that you did this and then the cocktailers come and tell us all about it. So
next they're all in first class.
So B, are you gonna sit in first class and put your kids in the back on your trip?
You know, I'm gonna call the airline now and sort that out because it's not a bad idea. I mean, not a bad idea, but like I don't have a nanny. You think if I slip somebody a 20, they'll watch my kids for a few hours?
Honestly, though, too, like school age kids, you like traveling with them gets so much easier. You put them in front of an iPad and like.
Listen, we're going to Europe. I wouldn't have dared do that flight before my kids were a more manageable age.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so here's some podcast exclusive tea that we have heard about behind the scenes on Housewives and casting that we have never shared. So it's only getting shared here on the podcast.
So a good source tells us that a rule about all Housewives cast is that now, so this is it's probably after, and I know what season's coming to my mind. It's a new rule, right, Amanda?
I mean, they're saying it's now this is the
Right.
rule, so I
Right.
think so.
Okay. So it stems from Roni, right? Where three of the wives were sober, and Andy was like, this was the most boring season of Housewives ever. So there is a new rule that only one person cast can be sober. Apparently, Dubai might be excluded because of religious reasons, but
Yeah.
like, imagine it's like, congratulations. I'm glad you're a friend to Bill, but you're cut because you got to drink. And we already have one person who isn't. So, toodles. Here's a bottle of Frosé.
Oh my gosh. Okay, wait. So I'm trying to think of which season. Is this the one right after Luann got arrested?
So, wait. So,
What one were you thinking?
I was thinking Leah, the COVID season, right? Where it was Leah and Luann.
Yeah.
Yeah. The rest weren't, but this is three, but the rest weren't sober, but they weren't like sloppy drunks. I also think it depends on the city, right? Because
Yeah.
like New York's cast has always been like drinkers,
Not afraid to have too many
right?
on camera.
Especially on their vacations and stuff. Like Beverly Hills, they drink, but with the exception of Erica pretending that she's all of a sudden an alcoholic, you know what I'm saying? It's always,
Yeah.
they're not sloppy. Like New York gets sloppy with their drinking, which is like central to the show.
Right. Yes. Take off, like, I want to see you dance around naked with pasties on.
Yes, exactly.
But wait, so remember there was that season when Sonia, like, took a break from drinking, and that was also the one where she was not invited to Bluestone Manor?
Oh, right.
I'm trying to think of who else was on that season. So
Jill was already
Luann?
gone, right? Because she
And was
doesn't
Luann?
drink.
Luann was not drinking then. I think that was maybe right after she got arrested.
Okay. Tinsley's always drinking. She's like permanently wine
yeah.
drunk, which I love about her.
Anyway, well, who knows? But I think that is really good behind the scenes tea. Super interesting.
Yes, I like that. I like that.
We'll see if that it turns out to be the case with the next Ronies, or I guess the next Housewives, all of them. Okay, so let's go into some of the reader questions. So we're going to do some of the reader questions that came in from the Ask Me Anything box on Instagram.
Let's go.
All right, first question. Thoughts on Paige and Craig and Lindsay and Carl? Is it PR or is it real?
I think both are real. I
agree.
I don't know why people say they're fake. I think that it's advantageous for all parties, but I also think that it's authentic, and I think that, let's face facts. You have four people in their 30s. Paige is a hair under 30, but you have four people in their 30s who are now like established reality stars. Where are they finding someone who wants to be in a serious relationship with somebody in that world if they're not in that world? So right off the bat, you now minimize your pool. You have to assume that those interested may have ulterior motives. They may want fame themselves. In both instances with these couples, they're all kind of equal playing fields. They all have their success and their whatever it is from being reality stars. It just makes sense from that point. I think they're real. I think they relate to each other, and yeah, that's my feeling.
Yeah, I think with Paige and Craig, they were smitten with each other from the beginning and just attached to other people. I think with Lindsay and Carl, a little of the same, but I think they also built what was a real friendship. And I completely believe you can go from real, true friendship with a boy and a girl and then go into later a romantic thing. So no, I don't think it's PR.
And I think that with Lindsay and Carl, like they were both dating around and striking out, and they just one day turned to each other like, why not us? I mean,
right.
It just makes sense. And I think that with age, not saying they're old, I'm saying they're in their 30s, comes like that experience of really knowing what you want and trying things and realizing that it's, what works for you. And I think that's the case with them. They just work.
Okay, here is a good one. Good question. All-time favorite and least favorite housewife?
I never answer these in the Ask Me because, okay, first of all, it changes all the time. So to say all time, I'm going to go ahead. The answer I always give for my all-time favorite, Nene Leakes. Just off the bat, she
good.
pops right to the front of my head. You could love her. You could hate her. She's messy. She's suing Bravo. She is a freaking star. The second that woman popped on my screen, she had me. She had me at hello. She had me at Close Your Legs to Married Men. I love NeNe Leakes.
Okay, least favorite. Would you like to answer that?
Okay, so my least favorite changes. It changes based on, there would have been a time I would have said Teddy. And you know what? Now, the way Beverly Hills is, I wouldn't even mind her coming back. So, like, I flip-flop on this. I will say OC has the most housewives that I don't like over the course of its run. I never could stand Shannon. Never could stand her. I know people say she gives a lot. I just don't like her. I think she's very annoying. I'm not saying she doesn't give a lot, but she's freaking annoying. I just don't like the woman. Alexis, Gretchen, they're just so ick. Gina, ick. So that, I would say, as a franchise, OC has disappointed me the most.
Okay. All right. I'm going to take this one too because I agree with you on NeNe. Love her. I can't just pick one. Kenya, one of my favorites.
Yes.
She has just, and she's like going through this like kind of amazing story arc where she's moving from villain to everyone loves her. Lisa Vanderpump will probably always be my all-time favorite.
Same.
Because
love.
She's just
love
the ultimate shade with class and glitz and glamour.
Real money,
and
good husband, nice life,
good husband,
nice family
dogs.
life.
I just love her. I also can't not watch. Now, I wouldn't say the latest season, but like Leanne from Dallas was just absolutely nuts. And reading Not All Rose, that book.
Wait, you think she's one of your favorites, Leanne?
Well,
get the hell
just
out
to
of here.
watch, because she's
Ugh.
such a shit show.
No.
And like, my hands are knives, and I mean, I don't know. She's a carny. Like, I love watching her. I can't help it. And hey, guys, so you can see, B and I do not agree.
First of all, we actually disagree about a lot of housewives. You also love Shannon.
I do love Shannon. I would 100% sit down and drink. What is it she drinks? A bunch of limes and vodka. I would sit down and drink that with her and let her cook me ribs 100%.
Absolutely
and she
not.
would make me laugh.
No, she would make me cringe.
Let's see. You know who was awful? Was Carlton. She scared me. She was not fun to look at. She didn't have her makeup done and had like just sunken in, like just looked ill, which again, nothing wrong with being ill, but she wasn't ill. And so...
Disclaimer, if you're listening to our podcast and you are ill, that's fine, but I don't like Carlton. Now, go to the pharmacy and get your medication.
Or concealer. They sell concealer at the pharmacy too.
Talking about it, I think she must have been like a chain smoker, although we didn't see it, right? Because how does one get to look like that? She wasn't even old then. She was in her 40s.
By the way, I think all of the Beverly Hills housewives smoke.
I got
maybe
news for
not
you.
Garcelle,
So many people
but like
smoke.
Dorit smokes. I think we've seen Kyle smoke. Who else?
People 40 and over smoke, but they do it like closet because it's like not socially acceptable. Younger people vape. Older people smoke ciggies. I got news. Yeah. I no longer do, although I got a beautiful review calling me a 65-year-old chain smoker. I did smoke for many years. Now I have a jewel pen like a millennial. Oh no, not even a millennial. What's that younger generation called? I actually am a millennial. I'm like out here like a Gen Z with my jewel pen.
That's hilarious.
But no, a lot of those housewives smoke. Dorinda,
I think
Luann.
Oh yeah, Dorinda.
All of them.
Eva's not even like shy about it. She's not even closeted. She just does it.
Good for her.
Anyway, maybe like that would be a good topic as who actually smokes.
Right.
Okay, here's one. Do you think Roni should just be over?
I think whoever sent that should just unfollow me. Are you high? Why would Roni need to be over? Number one, if you listen to last week's pod, we have an incredible spinoff shaping up. Number two, I will never be sick of Sonia Morgan and her townhouse and Luann pretending to not drink. And ever, I'll never be sick of it. Give me Dorinda with 3 martinis in. I'm here for all of it.
Clip. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna weigh in on all of these because this is one I completely agree with you. Do you think Stanbury knows that Dubai is a dud?
I think that she considers herself the breakout star of it, and I think that she thinks everyone else is a dud. That's what I think. Somebody sent me a picture of Sergio and Larsa, and there's some story there. Like, they know each other. I wonder if they hooked up. Interesting.
It sounds like he's got quite a few escapades in his past in the U.S.
Fluid
as
well.
Oh, interesting. Okay, thoughts on Erika Jayne, and should she be fired?
I'm gonna say no. Guys, I'm not. She's just asking me these. I really didn't look at them. Yeah. I'm gonna say my gut says no. I loved Erika Jayne at first. Like, when she first came on, first of all, I just thought she was so beautiful. I remember because I was like watching it one day and my brother was over and I was like, isn't she so gorgeous? And my brother's like, not really. No, I don't think she's so gorgeous. I was like, really? Like, I just was so taken with her. She was always an ice queen, but I just really loved, I don't know, I loved it. And even though I know she's really not a nice person now and it's not just like a cool facade, I still like watching her.
Agreed. I think she might have had all of the stuff about what was really going on not come out. I think she probably would have been on my list of favorite housewives because she was probably my favorite housewife that first season. You couldn't take your eyes off her.
Right? Magnetic.
She was doing these crazy looks and like she was kind of icy.
It's kind of sad to see. It's like the fall from grace because like she's like, and I'm not taking a knock at her looks, but like she just looks stressed, right? And a beautiful woman's a beautiful woman, but it's kind of sad,
I think Mikey must be so sad too because he was like my ultimate masterpiece.
Right.
We pulled it off for a few years. Also, like, I'm just going to weigh in quickly on this. Like, she has not been charged with anything criminally.
Right.
So even so, unless she is, found guilty of something, then I don't think she should be fired. And I think it's really interesting to see what's going on. I would like to see her just as a person have some more compassion and not be so focused on herself and how all this is. I think it's very human to be like, the holidays are a really hard time for me. And I think she's trying to be human in kind of the wrong way though. And anyway,
something else, which it just occurred to me in this moment with her marriage to Tom, she was a young single mother and we know that she didn't have a father figure. And I really think that while it was a romantic relationship, it was also like he really took care of her in her mind. Like, I think she trusted him. I think she thought he was brilliant. I think that she may have felt like he wouldn't do something like that because he's such a smart man. He wouldn't need to. Like, I think that she really believed it. And I think that she may still think it's not as bad as people say because I don't think she believes he would do that.
He came across as such a charming man and genuine, like, and legal genius and all of that. Right. So I agree. And I think, somebody who might have daddy issues might also only be looking for the good, right. and not maybe seeing some of the red flags. So.
And I know we've had this conversation before and we've had it about Erika and we've had it about Jen Shah and Coach about what they knew or didn't know. And your feeling is like you could very easily not know your husband's dealings. See, for me, I don't know. In my marriage, I feel like I would know. And when I look at Erika and Tom, I more see it almost like I wouldn't know what my father, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would never be privy to anything like that with my dad. I would never think to ask him. I would never think to question it. And I almost see Erika in that way. Whereas with my husband, if the math wasn't mathing, I would perk up real quick. Does that make sense? Whereas like with my dad, I would never even question the math thing. It would all just be like, he knows what he's doing.
Right. Well, I think on that topic, yeah, because the way that she went into the marriage, he was like, I have the assets, and they didn't start it
There
on
was just
a
like
partnership.
established wealth for decades before she knew him. So,
Right. Well, and back to the whole, so here, my point about I think it's possible. I think it is 100% possible. I don't think Jen knew maybe, all of the ins and outs of exactly, what Coach did all day at work, right? Just I think it's quite plausible that Coach wasn't saying let me look at your books, I want to understand, let me look at your P&L, and I want to see your company's balance
but here's where
statement.
I disagree. Not to interrupt, I know I always get yelled at because I'm a over talker.
This is where I disagree, guys. It's okay. We can talk, we can both talk, it's okay.
So with Erica and Tom, they're not peers. Shah and Jen came up together, okay?
Right.
They were college sweethearts the same way me and my husband are. I don't know. And again, I can only base, right? It's from where I am in my life. It would be different if I married my husband, right? And he was an established whatever for 15 years.
Right.
Whatever. And, I was there when my husband got his first job. You understand? If all of a sudden, if there wasn't a progression, right? And my husband went from making X to making multi-million dollars, I feel like I would know how that happened and how he came to that place. Does that make sense?
Yes, I agree.
I don't know every check my husband cashes. I don't mean to say it like that. But if my husband's net worth tripled in 3 years, I would know why.
But would you say, I want to see your billing in your company, and because you don't think that if Coach was like, okay, Jen's like, my business is just going crazy, there's so many people who need this, and we're just blowing up.
Okay, and so when she sat fine, and so when my husband sat down and explained it to me, now I'm an educated person, as Coach is. He's an attorney. So I'm an educated person myself. I have a master's degree, right? So I'm not in the same line of work as my husband, but I wouldn't need to be for me to understand, gotcha. Okay, so you have a contract with this company and they pay you. This was total fraud. It was a scam.
Yeah.
So how was that explained to an educated person that it was believed? Listen, this is just my feeling on it. I can't wrap my head around that.
Right. And I can, because I could see a thing where, he, tax season comes, right? And you're pulling together all of your information for the accountant. And so, you're going to look to see okay, your Coach, you're like, okay, Jen, let me see your paperwork. Depending on how the company was set up, all she might have gotten was a K1, which a K1 is just saying, this is how much you personally took away. And then generally with an LLC, you're responsible for whatever profit the company makes. But on those tax documents, it doesn't show you how all of those profits came together. It doesn't show you a lot of this stuff.
So why did they own a house then?
Well,
I got news for you. If this website and this podcast, if I start making millions of dollars, the first thing I'm going to do is buy some real estate.
Well, wait. No, first you're going to redo the closets because we both record from our closets.
First of all, then
you're going to buy some real estate.
First of all, no. I'm going to have a podcast room. I'm going to have a new house with a podcast actual room. But
love it.
But in other words, no, we're going to again, Amanda, we are not going to agree on this because if and as we've established, our website is monetized and we do make some money off it. But when January rolls around and tax season comes around, if my website made $3 million, my husband's ears would perk up. It's one thing to make $50,000 on something. You work at it, you do it, but I'm throwing a number out there, guys. It's not an actual number. But if sitting in my closet and posting some gossip was earning me millions of dollars, I don't know. I can't imagine my husband just being good for you, boo, and not looking into it a little bit.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that's a good point. And I think the best point was, why didn't they own a house?
Yeah.
So that's a great
This is all
question.
just top of the head. I mean, the way I come up with the. Oh, guys, everything's alleged. Nothing is verified. These are
Right.
thoughts and ideas from
We're
my
just
brain.
talking and giving our opinions. And see, look, I just interrupted you guys. See, it
See?
works. This is just a conversation with friends. Okay, here's a good question. I'm going to ask myself the question because the question is, who is Amanda? I mean,
Who is
it's
Amanda?
funny. Who is Amanda? I am no one.
And is
I
that your real
am.
name? Because you know for
Is
damn
it?
sure my name is not B.
Well, is it Amanda? It could be Leanne. Maybe I'm Leanne.
Never.
So no, I'm a Bravo fan, just like the rest of us. And I started working with B on the website. We launched it in late October of last year. We became fast friends and we have a lot in common, and here we are.
And she made me do a
So
podcast
I did I did, and here we are.
in a closet.
Both of us are in our closets. If you guys could just see. I'm looking at my shoes right now. Okay, so here's a question for you. Totally changing tracks, B. We're looking for some advice.
Okay.
My son's girlfriend cheated on him. He forgave her. How can we convince him it won't work out?
You don't. You raise your children to have the skills to make their own choices and lead a life that fulfills them. And you accept their choices and you hope that you did a good enough job raising them that ultimately they choose what's best for them. But you don't convince your child. And I don't know how old this person is. I mean, is it a 14, 15-year-old? Well, then she'll probably do it again and they'll break up. Isn't it an adult? Is it a 20-something person? I mean, it's their life. I don't know how we got here that I'm giving life advice. Maybe I
love
should
it,
hop
though.
on with Albie, dear Albie. But I got to be honest with you. I am not a person. I live my own life. I'm fulfilled in my own life and I love my kids. It is a joy to watch them grow up, but I'm raising them to be their own people. I don't have to
Yeah.
live through them. They don't have to do what I say. That's not a vibe for me. And I think that parents who do that are doing a disservice to their kids and themselves. Live your own life.
Love it. I agree with you on that. Okay, what do you think of Lisa's Elton John sunglasses?
Like, did she get work done? Why? I don't know.
I do question why she's wearing them inside all the time, but I actually love the 70s vibe.
Maybe she has
of...
glaucoma? Is
I
that
hope
like if you
not.
have glaucoma, does that, I don't know, maybe the light, like I know that light-eyed people, which I'm not, I'm a brown-eyed girl, but I know that light-eyed people like are very sensitive to the sun. So
I
I don't know.
I don't know, but
But she has
from a
hazel
fashion
eyes, so
standpoint,
that doesn't track.
I love them. I think they're brilliant. I'm loving all the big 70s awesome shades that I'm seeing.
I
come
like a
out.
nice big
Okay.
sunglass, but not that kind.
What is Kylie's baby boy name? Kylie Jenner.
John.
Wouldn't that be great?
Jason.
Somebody,
Michael.
one of the cocktailers told us that they think it's Knight with a K.
I
Like
mean,
Knight in shining armor.
I gotta say, these people are so talented. Why do we care? But yet they make us care. I don't know. I think it would be great if it was John and it was just the most common name in American history, and that's it.
Okay, here's a good one. What two Bravo people from different shows would you want to see together?
Okay, so immediately what popped in my head was how fun it was when Sonia was with Josh Flagg. Remember
Oh, yeah.
that?
Yeah.
That was a good combo. So, like, something like that. Like, not like two houses. Like, pop in and then.
Oh my God, I would love to have her as a house guest. That
I
be so
would
funny.
love to see Paige hanging out with, like, the Roni. Like, Sonia. Like, doing a
That would be-
a brunch with Sonia. Like, Paige and Sonia.
like just the looks on her face. And I was gonna go like not romantic too. So I would love to see a buddy show of Patricia and Lisa Vanderpump. So Patricia from
Oh, I
Southern
love that.
Charm and Lisa Vanderpump, and we have to figure out what the setting
It would never
is, but a
happen
buddy
because
show
they're
would be
both
so great.
bosses and they would never agree to it.
I agree. Okay. Oh, here's a funny comment. So, because when you asked, you said no holds barred, and you weren't quite sure how to, like what the exact wording of it was. And then somebody just commented, because you said, am I even saying it right? The person commented, I don't even know if that's right because I've had 68 glasses of rosé.
Girl, same.
Was that me?
Is that me?
Did I put in that comment? I don't remember.
I have such a headache. It was that 68th glass that did me in.
Okay. Do you think Taylor from Southern Charm should have known that Shep is gonna Shep?
Okay, I think Shep should have known that if a girl like that is interested in you, it's because she's on the come up. Does he not watch Vanderpump Rules? Listen, she's got 100K followers. She's an influencer. She's on a reality show. I don't think she cared one way or the other. She secured herself a career.
I think there could be something to that, but I think
Listen, I don't think it was all that. I think that initially he's charming and she liked him. But I think that they're probably, if he was not on a reality show and if it wasn't advantageous to her, I think she would have walked away sooner. I don't think she would have stuck it out that long. I think the initial attraction was legit. I think she stayed to make the most of it.
I think too, though, that I think sometimes like there's always that like, but he'll change for me, and you see it. You do see the bad boys kind of settle down, and it, maybe she was
right, like she's thinking like
maybe he'll do it for me.
And also she said on the show like he's 42, like
right.
And I think that probably what happened was she realized like you kind of if he's not doing it at 42, and not that 42 is old, but you're old enough to know what you want, right? And what kind of life you want. So,
and to maybe not stay out until 3 a.m. all the time.
Right.
But that's just maybe being judgy. Okay, here's a question. I still can't figure out why you don't like Diana. Maybe I've missed a previous post or pod.
Do you watch the show? She's awful. I don't like her.
I have nothing to add to that one too. Okay, where do you think the next Housewives show will be?
And it got shot down. I think there's something to that Scottsdale that was in one of our old pods. There's a post on the site. They definitely were filming there. It makes sense to me. There's so many influencers in Arizona. I know this because I follow Lola. I don't know if you guys, so Lola is she's got a really cool account. She's like, first of all, she's beautiful and she, shows clothes in her house. She's actually the ex-wife or soon to be ex-wife of the Bella twins' brother. I actually found out about her during their breakup because I had some gossip. And then people were like, his ex-wife is like his wife, whatever. They were an ex at the time, is an influencer. And that's how I started following her account. But there's a whole crew of women there who are like influencers. So I think that would be a cool house. And I think we're seeing that a little bit with Southern Charm. We obviously see that with Summer House, where, that's what's current right now, right? That's what people are making their livelihood at. And those are also people willing to go on TV. A teacher, a lawyer, it's less likely, right, that they're going to take that risk publicly. So I say Scottsdale, and I say it centers around women in their 30s for early 40s who are kind of in that influencer or own businesses and also, make money through social media.
I think that's a great one. I believe that there's been enough of the smoke and fire around Winnetka, the nice suburb of Chicago. So, BravoCon, guys, this is when we're going to hear all of this. So we'll know in, what is it, like 6-8 weeks?
Right. Yeah, okay. The Winnetka I forgot about. But yeah, that makes sense too.
I think you're totally right about. I think we just heard enough about Scottsdale that I could, the setting is cool. And yeah. Do you think that Portia will be back?
Yes. I mean, she's trying to secure a bag. Good for her. She'll be back. I don't know if it'll be like next season. I think that she'll be back. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so too. In some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. She hopped on that girl's trip real quick.
Yeah, I agree. Do Bravo celebrities get residuals? So I don't know this for a 100% fact, but I do know just from reading enough that that is one thing that's different about reality TV is that the people who are on it, it's not like actors, it's not like the Friends cast who's still getting some pretty heavy checks, right, from all of their episodes. From what I've heard, reality show folks do not get it unless they somehow negotiate it. So, for example, the Kardashians, I believe, do, but I think that's also why they are producers.
Mm-hmm.
I do not think that Bravo gives their stars any kind of residuals. And I think that's probably also why Vicky is so salty these days.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you. I don't think they get residuals. I think they get paid for the season and,
Yeah.
you know.
And need to make hay. And that's why they're all like, even, Lisa Rinna has a wine now. Okay. Who do you think will win at court? Lisa or Lenny?
I mean, I think Lisa should win, but the way that he's gloating, and if you guys listened to last week's pod, you hear some of the scoop we got. I think that prenup might be a pretty solid situation, sadly, because I want Lisa to win.
Yeah, I know nothing about their whole situation, but if that prenup was really good, in all likelihood, they won't even go to court, but we'll see. I just hope she ends up being treated fairly in all of this.
Same.
And that, the kids are also just don't walk away too scarred from this whole sitch. Okay, how well does Skinny Girl products really do in sales?
You go.
We know that she got quite a check. Bethany got quite a check at one point when she sold the margarita.
I think 120 million, right? Was that the number?
That's the rumor. So she sold that to a big alcohol company, but she still owns, from what I understand, she still owns the brand in other categories. So I think, and I believe I read this somewhere, that she actually licenses out the brand. So that's why she has a ham. That's why she has jeans. So if it is a true licensing deal, you never know what the deal is. But, if it's a true licensing deal, there might not be she might not make, dollar amount per product sold. It could just be she sold off a license and then maybe every year they renew the license.
Right.
So you just don't know. But she is still out there. Like she will still promote her stuff. So I think there's got to be some kind of benefit to her to do that.
Yeah, I agree. I think the payday was the big thing. And, as long as people are licensing out, why not?
Who is your favorite reality pet?
Jiggy. Rest in peace, right? Didn't Jiggy die?
That's a good one. Yes. Can anybody answer to me why Kyle just lets her dogs just run around and eat everyone's food?
I also met Sonia's dog. Did I ever tell the story about going to Sonia's house? Did we do that on the podcast?
Oh no, I think we're gonna save.
We're gonna do that another
for
day.
Exclusive content. For another day.
But yes. I met Sonia's dog, Marley.
Aww, Marley's cute. Okay, are Sergio and Caroline going to last?
Stop.
How are you doing all these things without being super stressed?
We're not doing them without being super stressed. We're super stressed.
But we're having fun doing it.
Listen, it's fun, but I have to be honest.
Us going.
It is fun, but the reason I didn't want to do a podcast is because I knew it would be work. Like the webpage, you guys send me this stuff, okay? I'm not an author. I don't create it. It gets sent to me. I reword and post, and the podcast, it's hard. You got to have fresh content. You want to, diversify yourself so you're not just another Bravo podcast. I don't know. Yeah. It's stressful, but it's fun.
It's work, guys, but it's fun. Okay, let's see here. Oh, here's another kind of behind the scenes question. Can you make an app that's like the website, but post all the tea there?
So the way Amanda and I met was I put a question box and I was like, who can help me with a website? And a ton of people responded, and I just picked Amanda's, wrote back. And that was my question. I was like, can we just do an app? Apparently it's very expensive to make an app, right?
It's very expensive, and there are ways that we could do it. I think it's an interesting idea. I think right now we are still focused on growing, the stuff that we are putting out there. I think I think that might put us over the edge at this point to try to do an app, but I like the idea. I think we just need to focus on the stuff we've got going right now.
Yes. Yeah, I am accepting volunteers. So if maybe we should do a GoFundMe
to make an app. Well,
guys,
if you want the app, then you're gonna have to pay for it too. And like that's the other thing is like I think people, yes, they might complain about the ads being annoying, but nobody is charging you guys for the tea on the website. And I think
not yet.
An app, in order for the not yet. In order for the financials to work, we would have to charge, and that's just a little bit different way to interact with everybody. So we'll file that away.
And in coming weeks, we will be rolling some stuff out. We do have some exciting things coming. The Bravo and Cocktails and Gossip brand is growing. So
yes,
stay tuned.
Yes, more on that soon. Okay, and then last but not least, we're going to end with another Beverly Hills question. Do you think Kyle's time on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is coming to an end?
I think we kind of answered this at the top because as we do, we always lead into other conversations. I'm undecided, and I'm sticking with I'm undecided. I'm going on Insta right now and I'm grabbing a question because why not?
Why not?
I'm headed away, guys.
Yeah,
I'm going to be gone. This time. Not telling you where I'm going. I don't want you people to come find me. I'm only teasing. Rena, do you hear me? People are right. All the people who give me feedback saying I can't pronounce, you're right. Rena needs to
guys,
go.
This isn't broadcast journalism. We didn't go to school to be on the radio.
Two things.
People who are complaining, you call us and let us critique you for a little while.
It rolls off my back. Okay, first thing someone said, and I always send Amanda the positive messages you DM me because unfortunately the people who comment on the podcast often are people who don't like me. And hey, I have so many friends, it would blow your mind. I'm not looking to make friends. You listen, I'm like this on Instagram. I'm like this in real life. I am who I am. Take it or leave it. And either way, I'm good. The reality is people who don't like me actually are better for the brand. People who love me are like, yeah, I downloaded your pod, but I didn't get a chance to listen to it. People who find me annoying, they want to listen to it because they want to hear me mess up. They want it to be stale. They want it to be bad, right? But if you keep tuning in, it's because it's not bad. So you could hate listen. So someone says, love the podcast. Wasn't expecting you to sound like Jill Zarin. I don't think I sound like Jill Zarin. Listen, Jill Zarin has a Long Island accent. My New Yorkers are going to get this right away. I sound like I'm from a borough, be it Brooklyn, be it Queens. I do not sound like I'm from Long Island, period. So that's that on that. She's also a lot older than me. I love Jill, but could be a parent to me.
Yes, I agree with you on that. You don't sound like Jill. Jill has a very kind of nasal tone to her voice too. So...
I have such bad allergies that I feel like, especially when I'm recording the pod, I sound so, that's part of it too. You wait until it's not allergy season. Midwinter, I'm going to be my best self. Any gossip on Juicy Joe? I do not have gossip on Juicy Joe, but I do need you to follow him on Instagram. I shared a video the other day. He just had gel in his hair, and then he goes, yeah, slick the hair back. And then I rub a little on my forehead. It's like Botox, but not. I don't care. I love him. He is just incredible. Hottest housewife of all time. Hottest husband of all time. Apollo.
Yes, you love yourself some Apollo. God, do I even have a good answer for this? I don't know.
Come on.
I mean, everyone says Mauricio. I think he's probably like the full package. Funny, handsome, very devoted, doting dad, doting husband, So I would have to go and like handsome. But for me, humor always is up there in what I find attractive in somebody, and I think he's funny. So I'm gonna go Mauricio.
Okay, so you just did like such a evolved answer. The question was who's the hottest. So I don't care what jail cell he's been in. I don't care if he's funny. Okay, I want to know when you look at someone. We're not bringing their 401ks into this equation. I'm not marrying the guy, but when I look, who's the hottest? Apollo.
I mean,
I'm not saying you have to pick him, but do not make a rational. Do not say, oh, well, he owns these businesses and he's nice to his children. I don't give a shit about that.
Okay,
I'm not having any babies with this guy.
I have a laminated. I am a married woman. I have a laminated list. However,
what does that mean?
If you're familiar,
what's a
with,
laminated list?
Laminated list. Did you ever see the Friends where Ross was like in love with Isabella Rossellini and she was on his list?
I did not watch Friends.
Okay, so the deal was if they're on the list ahead of time and you meet them in real life,
the hall pass,
you can have a freebie and screw them.
So we call that a hall pass, right?
A hall pass, yes. So I have a laminated list. None of the house husbands are on it. I will tell you George Clooney is on it, and I will tell you John Hamm is on it. And I mean, I have my people that I lust after, but I don't. None of the housewives
from
matter.
Bravo. If I had to pick one in all seriousness, and I'm not saying this is the hottest person, but I don't think I should say it. I would say Craig. I think Craig is just so cute, and I just like how he is. I think he's cute and he's normal and he's smart. So if we're gonna do like a responsible answer, it would have to be Craig for me.
That's a pretty good
I also
one.
don't like old guys.
Well, how old is old? Because Clooney's getting up there, but he's still hot.
Like, for me, I'm married. If I was going to do it, if I was dating, if I was suddenly in the dating scene, it would have to be under 40.
Interesting. So you would go, okay, all right. If you would go on the, like...
I guess as I get older, I'll have to adjust that, right?
Yeah. I mean, gosh, I haven't even really thought about this.
I'm like Caroline Stanbury.
Okay, I like this for you.
Right?
Yes, I like this for you. Sergio is quite handsome. Actually, I might say he might be the hottest house husband.
And listen, clearly he's good looking. He doesn't do it for me.
Yeah. Well, I don't love his, I think he's too, like...
Schwarmy. Did we just say...
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Did we both just say that?
Jinx. Yes, I agree. But again, we're not talking personality. We're just talking looks. He never opens his mouth.
Right, but even Craig, just on looks, I think he's very good looking.
Craig is extremely handsome, has great hair, and I've always
and he's
liked
tall.
Yes.
I like his casual style. He's got swag. Like, and I don't want to bash Austin, but like, I'm not saying he's bad looking, but I don't think, like, to me, if I saw him, I wouldn't be like, "Ooh, he's so cute." I would understand if somebody else found him cute, but like, that's not my speed.
Yeah, I generally don't. I like the darker haired men anyway, as you can guess from my laminated list and my Sergio.
I actually
and my
like
Mauricio.
blondes, which is so weird that I am not picking them. Like, Leonardo DiCaprio is my childhood love.
Well, okay, I have a question for you. Who's on your laminated list?
Leo, Matt Damon, Mark Wahlberg. So my favorite movie is The Departed.
Oh, that is a good movie.
So Mark I like because I like a bad boy. I like a guy that I don't want them to punch someone in the face, but I want to be confident that they could and would. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. Leo, when I was a kid, I mean, I'm talking like a little kid. I just loved him. And Matt Damon, I like the Boston accent, Good Will Hunting. I like a pretty boy who's tough.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, Mark Wahlberg, I could imagine there could be some...
And I don't care about height. People are always like, oh, but he's short. I'm not a short woman, and height does not bother me. I'm 5'7".
I've never dated anyone shorter than me.
But I'm 5'7", so like very few guys are 5'6". I mean, my husband's tall, but that's not why I married him.
Well, no, of course not. I mean, tall doesn't get you like years and years of marriage. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
But I mean, even like if I'm in heels and I can see them eye to eye, I don't really care for it. And I always want somebody, I've always liked somebody like bigger than me, like not super skinny, like maybe a little bit of a dad bod.
Also, something that is like well, I shouldn't say that because I did say Apollo is the hottest, but that's like not, I don't know. I feel like men, unless you're obese, like you don't know what a guy's body looks like, right? Because I don't know. Like men can get away with having weight on them.
Yes, I agree.
All right, now
And
I'm fat shaming and
no, you're not fat shaming. I
no,
just
I don't
like,
mind. I don't mind a
agree.
plump. I don't mind a chubby guy. I don't mind a skinny guy. Like those things don't really.
Like dad bods are not necessarily overweight. They're just not in 6-pack form, right? Like they could still wear the same size of pants as
Right.
a man who's in like 6-pack form.
Exactly.
So no, that's not. It's just more of a matter of are you in shape or not. And I don't mind a guy that's just got like a tiny bit of a little bit of a dad bod, because for me it's always been like, are you gonna sit on the couch and like eat pizza and drink beer with me every once in a while? And if the answer is no, then I don't think this marriage is gonna work.
I totally. You know what's funny? My husband's very worked out. He's a workout guy, but he eats. He also, like, some people just have lucky metabolisms.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one of those.
Oh, lucky. But he'll sit on the couch and eat pizza and
Yes.
drink beers with you.
I call him
okay.
the garbage can. He eats everything.
But you know the great thing about the laminated list?
What?
Like, you don't have to care if they're going to eat pizza on the couch with you because it's the laminated list. Because Mark Wahlberg not going to eat pizza and drink beer with you on the couch.
Right.
But
I don't love that.
Doesn't
about
matter
him.
because he's just on the list.
Right. Exactly.
Anyway, well, this has been a fun conversation. Are we have any other questions, or should we end it with this whole what do you
This
even
episode
call
has
it?
been a mess. I can't wait for the reviews on this one.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, thanks, you guys. We appreciate you listening and just taking a chance on this podcast in general, and especially with this kind of different format. We love that you guys were all over the assignment. You understood the assignment. You sent us some really great questions. Keep sending in the tea. We're still going to be here. We're still going to be posting. We're still going to be doing all of that. But we appreciate you guys because we wouldn't be here without you.
You guys are the best. Have a great week, guys.